Hey friends, it's Heidi Sonboul. Let's get crafting.
These are the supplies we're going to be using today. This old post from a stair railing that I picked up a while ago. I picked it up for 50 cents. And then the rest of these 4 supplies are all from the Dollar Tree. And I've had some of them on hand for a while, but some of them are newer, like this garden chain that you can hang up a plant with, and this black hook that you can also use to hang up a plant. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our hacksaw, this little mini travel one that I love this thing, and it's a little miter box. I'll link everything in my description box so that you can all find this. And what we're going to do is we're going to take off this little nub at the end, and then we're going to find a spot that we like on the opposite side and cut that off as well. When you're all done cutting off those pieces and you got it to the height that you like, you're going to go ahead and start assembling it. Now this sign again came from the Dollar Tree, and I love this one because it has that hollow base where you can see the trim is allowing it to have things go underneath it without it scratching a table, which is why I like this one, because I can screw up into it. So I'm popping off the heart and sanding off some of that vinyl that they put on there, and then I'm drilling a hole in the sign right in the center, and as well as the post. You want to make sure you're right in the center, so if you need to measure it, that's a good thing. And then you're going to take your drill and just screw them together. Now as you're screwing it, your sign will rotate a little bit in the air, so make sure it's lifted a little bit so it doesn't hit your table. And then once it's nice and snug, you are ready to paint. So here it is, all painted white and ready to go. And now I'm going to take this hanging wire rack thing, I forgot what this is called, but basically this black hanger that you can get in the garden section at the Dollar Tree. I marked off where I wanted to drill holes, and you can see here on my drill bit I put a piece of painter's tape to make sure I don't go in too far, and then I'm going to just screw it right into place onto this post. Now I decided to dress it up just a little bit. I love that coastal farmhouse look, and so I decided to take some rope and I wrapped it around that part as well. Now we're going to take that wood plaque from earlier, and I painted it white as well, and I'm drilling 2 holes in the top, and this is going to become our sign that is going to hang onto the chains that we're going to assemble in just a second. So here I am freehanding. I took a ruler to make sure that I'm staying in the right spot so I don't move around. And now I'm going to write our family's name. It says Sonboul family, and then the year my husband and I got married, which was 2001, so established in 2001. I really like doing pencil sketching first whenever I do hand painting, just because it makes sure that my spacing is not wrong, and it really helps out in the long run when you're doing hand painting like this. So if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette, you can totally cut these out and have them done that way, but I really love hand painting letters, and so I'm just taking my time with a small brush and some black paint. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my friend Kathy from My DIY. She actually was the one who originally came up with this idea. Hers was a little bit different than mine, with different supplies from the Dollar Tree, but I had this wood post on my hands and I wanted to use it since I'm trying to use up the things in my craft room. So I'm going to link her video down below. You should go check it out. Maybe you have some of her supplies. It's super cute. It's totally worth watching. Once I have my sign all painted, I'm now going to take my chain. I'm going to figure out how long I want it to be, and then I'm going to just use some pliers to unhook the rest of the chain that I don't want. Then I'm going to loop it around and pinch it all into place and hook on my sign. Now the coolest thing about this is that you could make all kinds of different signs and have them throughout the year. Something for 4th of July, Halloween, Christmas. I just thought this was so cute. Now make sure my chains don't slide around and over time scratch off that black paint from the hooks. I use some E6000 and it will stay in place forever.
Today is a Friend Friday, and there are going to be some awesome girls that are linked down below one at a time in the Friend Friday hop. If you haven't done it before and you are new to my channel, it's really simple. There is one link. It will say hop to the next channel. Go down in the description box and click on that link. It'll be titled really well so you can see it towards the top of all of my information, and it'll take you to the next girl. Those other channels that are playing along are going to each have 3 or more DIYs that they're going to be sharing today. So make sure you go and check them out. You will be blown away. There is going to be some good stuff.
The next project we're going to be doing, I made something similar back at Christmas time, and I wanted to do one for Easter or for springtime. I just thought this would be so cute. I'm taking 3 jars and I'm removing the lids. I always hold on to those, by the way, because there are always crafts that you can make with those types of things. And then I spray painted all of the glass jars with white paint. Now I'm going to take some of this burlap. I cut it down to the size that I needed, and I'm hot gluing it around all 3 of my jars. Once I have all 3 of those covered the way that I like, I decided to fray the edges just a little bit, and that's really easy to do. Especially with burlap, it comes apart really easy when you gently tug at it. So I'm just fraying the edges just a little bit and cleaning it up where it needs to be cleaned up, and then that way it has kind of that farmhouse look to it. I like frayed burlap. That's just personally me speaking. You don't have to do that step. You could use any fabric that you wanted. And then you can see here at the end, I'm folding over the flap to make sure it has a nice clean finish. So once you've got all of those covered in your fabric, I decided to bust out my button collection, and I'm pulling out 3 buttons that I thought would look nice on the back side, because I just think that is a cute little detail to it that makes it look more store-bought and custom. So I'm just putting a nice dollop of hot glue right on that seam on the back. And then on the front side, again, you can use a pencil to sketch out your letters. I'm just freehanding it. I'm going to paint on the words hop. I thought this would be really darling to just paint on these letters. And again, I'm taking my time. Friends, I make mistakes all the time whenever I'm hand painting, but the trick is to work slowly and take your time with your brush and get familiar with the bristles of the brush, because sometimes paintbrushes want to go certain directions, and over time you'll just get better and better. So here I am. First I write the letters, and then I go back in and I'm filling in the base where they connect to make it look, you know, like a really pretty font on this thing. And you can see that I always work out of my paint cap from my paint. I just like doing it that way because I feel like I have more control with my paintbrush. So once it's all painted and dried, I'm going to take some foam and I just put it down inside and hot glued it into place. And I'm going to take these really pretty pink flowers. I've been holding on to them, not sure what I wanted to do with them yet, and I just knew that this would be the perfect thing, a little pop of pink. And I'm putting them inside of this foam and just making sure it's nice and full and pretty like wild flowers. I really loved the way the pink looked with it, and I love this greenery that's on this particular one. And then I decided to add in a different variation of green to give it that really spring pretty look, and I'm just putting those down inside there. And then this is what is the cute thing about that sign from earlier. I popped off the bunny, cleaned off all the glue on the back side, and then I'm just going to add a stick and push that right down into my project. I'm also going to be showing you what I do with the rest of the sign in just a second, but here is the reveal of all of the jars. Today I have a real quick announcement. If you haven't heard, I host a monthly DIY challenge, and the one that's coming up for April is on April 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when the playlist goes live where you can add your video to it. This month the theme is farmhouse, and I'm really excited about that because I love farmhouse decor. These are the rules. It's super simple. Mention that I'm the host, that I created the playlist, and make sure you link the playlist and my channel in your description box. Also, I wanted to say, if you are new to my channel and coming over from the hop, welcome. My name is Heidi and I post DIYs all week long. I would love it if you join my channel and click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss when I post on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. All right, let's move on to our next project. Remember that sign from earlier where we popped off the bunny? Well, we're going to be using that with this little windmill. These all came from the Dollar Tree and we're going to need 3 of them. So go ahead and pop off the rest of those bunnies and just put them to the side because you never know when you might need a bunny. And these bunnies are so cute. The glitter actually does a good job about not coming off on those. I felt like the Dollar Tree did a good job adhering that this time because sometimes their products have glitter everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3 signs and a long piece of foam core board that you can also get from the Dollar Tree, cut it down to size just like I did here, and then you're going to take your 3 signs and glue them down onto that foam core. And make sure you use a lot of hot glue just so it doesn't pop off over time. You want this to really bond and adhere to it. And just like I'm doing here, I'm adding lots of glue and then I'm placing that down on there. Now you want it to really bond well without there being any air pockets, so I'm using this painter's can and I'm just going to put that down on there to give it that extra pressure. Then when you did that one, you're going to move over to the middle part and repeat that same process. Move over the can, let it sit there for a little bit while you move on to the next one, and then just keep placing on these signs to make sure everything is nice and adhered really strongly to that foam core. And this will also keep it so that, you know, it just doesn't pop off with time. Once everything is all dried and all sealed onto that foam core board, you're then going to take some paint. Now I'm running out of white paint because I'm not going out and shopping. I'm trying to be good and stay home. So I'm going to take some of this house paint. Why not? It works just the same. And I'm going to brush on white paint all over this whole thing. I decided to do 2 coats. Once everything is all painted, I'm going to take some black paint and some white paint and I'm going to mix in a nice slate gray color. I'm also going to take my thin brush and I'm going to make really rough lines right at those connecting points in the sign. So we're going to make it look like a shiplap sign and we're going to distress it. I'm going to show you how I distress it and my process with painting. So here I am. I make all of my lines first and then I'm going to come in with 3 different tints of gray. I've got my slate gray, I've got a medium gray, and then almost a white gray. You're going to start with your darkest color first, and you're going to dry almost all of the paint off because we're going to be dry brushing on that dark gray first. You can see here that it's really streaky. You want that look, and just keep going back over and over and over, just lightly adding on because it's creating a texture where it almost looks like a beach driftwood. And once you've got that all the way through, you're then going to move down to the next gray. And at this point, I've changed my direction of my brush. Instead of letting it lay flat, I'm letting it on its side go down. So I'm making thicker, longer streaks. You get comfortable with your brush and you figure out there's a flat way to rub a paintbrush and then a side, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of changing the direction to make sure my streaks are not all exactly the same. Once I've gotten that second coat of that second gray color on there, I'm going to take some brown and I'm just mixing that lightly with the gray and I'm going over on different spots to make it look like it's got, again, that wood look. And I'm going around all the edges with the brown to make sure that it has that nice distressed look. And then in the end, you go back in with your lightest gray color and just go over that lightly once again. Now I'm going to take these 3 letters that I printed out on my computer. I'm going to link these down below as a printable so you can all use it if you want to. But I'm going to just take my pencil, lay on that piece of paper and just trace over the letter. Foam core actually absorbs that pressure from a pencil really well without having to make the pencil lines. And then I'm going to use a sharp blade. That is the trick when you're using foam core. Make sure you're using a sharp blade and cut out all my letters. And just take your time with this, put on some music or a movie. This doesn't take too long, it actually goes pretty quick. But you can see here, don't ever try to force the letter out. I like to cut things away from it and then slowly pop out the letter so nothing breaks. So here I am on my H. A little part of the H actually broke when I was popping it out, but it's not a big deal. If it does, you just take some hot glue and you're going to just hot glue those little pieces back together. So I've already got my M and my H cut out, and now I'm going to do the last one, which is the E. Now I think at this point you're probably figuring out that the windmill is going to replace the O, and it's just going to look so cute. So I drilled a hole on my sign, and then I hot glued it down onto my sign. Make sure it's glued down really well so it doesn't pop off. And then that little button that was on the front, I just bent down that piece of wire on the back and glued it on top of it so it looked really cute and finished. Now for my letters, I thought this was such a cute thing. Whatever color your home is, if you have teals or red or yellow, whatever it is, I thought it's so cute to paint your letters those colors. So I'm going with black because I have a lot of neutrals in my home, so I can decorate things throughout the seasons and switch up my colors. That's just what I do in my home. But if you have a specific color, how cute would it be to paint these letters in that color to really stand out on your wall wherever you hang this up? So once you've got everything all painted, make sure you get the sides of that foam core. You're then going to let it dry, which obviously you're seeing here that I didn't wait for it to dry, but you're going to add some hot glue onto it and put it right on your sign. And then once all of your letters are done, you have finished your sign. Friends, I would love it if you came over and said hi to me on Instagram. That is the best place to tag me whenever you've done one of these projects. I love to see them. And if you didn't know, I started a new channel. I've moved all of my home decor and cleaning videos over to Heidi Sonboul Home. I'll link everything at the end of this video.
Leave a comment down below to let me know what you think of these projects that I did today. And don't forget to hop along to the next person in this Friend Friday hop. Thanks so much for being my friend, and until the next episode, bye friends!